internet carrier, if anything. So sorry, but I'm back now. So hopefully you guys will come back to me. And we can get started again. Okay, I'm back. I'm up and running. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I know. I have no idea what happened. It's Comcast. I'm on Comcast Xfinity. I've got the premium everything. I've got the really good Wi-Fi. It has nothing to do with the phone or anything. I think it's just sometimes the upload signal gets choked, and I think it's probably maybe working on something or something. I don't know. So weeks without having any problems, then all of a sudden we'll have a problem 3 times. So just understand this: if it goes bad again, I will come back up again a 3rd time, and we will finish off this bowl live one way or the other, right, guys? So as long as everybody knows that, I think we're in good shape, and we'll get by. Okay. Oh, there it is. I was trying to find my little key fob for my dust collector too. There we go. Losing a little bit of everything today. So, well, if you're back here again, guys, hit the like button again. If you were already, even if you hit the like button before, you can hit it again because this is considered a new video. So go ahead and hit the like button. And again, if you've never subscribed, now is a good time to subscribe to the channel. Some of the good and bad about oak is it's very nice solid wood, which is good. The bad about it is it's also can be very hard. It turns relatively easy with sharp tools. But you have to be kind of patient with it. And you also have to understand that not all oak is the same. There's white oak, there's cork oak, there's red oak. There's all sorts of different kind of oak, and they all have their own peculiarities you have to get used to. Well, look at that, huh? That's taking a little more. I'm being a little more aggressive than I need to be. So I can go a little bit light. I'll make sure my tool is in the right angle. And I'll kind of show that a little better here if I can. When you are trying to follow the curve, this has a curve, an angle in. So when you have to get your tool way out here, and you have to kind of follow that angle. So when you make your next dig in, you need to dig in so that you're not over here. Because if you put it like this, you're gonna be that far out. You want to make sure that you're following. So you have to really put the bevel against the wall and push down and in to keep that, try and maintain that angle that you have on the wall. Okay, so I put it in like so, with the tip as close to that bottom edge as I can, and then I turn it. Turn it like this, keeping the bevel against the back wall as I turn it around and it comes this way. Okay. Now obviously I'm a little too deep at the moment. I need to go back and take some of this out. Okay. You can see we're still kind of maintaining it, but it's starting to get a little fatter. So I'm going to have to make sure that I'm getting out here just a little bit more, so I don't start getting the wrong angle. It's really hard to fix later. And look at those ribbons fly, huh? Whew. Well, thank you for coming back, those of you that came back. I appreciate it. We lost about 200 people there, but thank you for coming back and watching the rest of this. Like I said, if I get the circle of death again, I will come back and finish this bowl. We just have to start another live again. So, but we will do it. I'm sorry I didn't look up sooner. Hi, Thomas. How are you? And let's see, we got Jim here, and we've got Todd and Thomas, and Boss. Is that on? But yeah, please do hit that like button. Would appreciate it a lot. I mean, there was a time when this channel was pulling down 100,000 viewers on the live, and I'm not sure where some of those people have gone lately. That was around the Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Maybe more people were off work or something. I don't know. We still pull crowd, but we're not pulling the kind of crowd that we did back then. What's funny though is I've 150 videos up, and a good chunk of them get views every day. So I'm still pulling down several thousand views a day, even on a day when I don't do anything. At this point, it's kind of self-sustaining. And I seem to get more subscribers too. I've got one video that's gotten me over 150 subscribers on its own. So for those of you that are starting your channels, don't distress. Your subscribers will come in a lot of different forms. But I like a live audience because I like to have people watching me and catch me when I do things right and catch me when I do things wrong and see what happens when you make mistakes. Because if you watch something that's edited, you're seeing an edited thing. You're seeing something that, I mean, it's like you're not seeing what really goes on, you know? I think the advantage of having a live is that if there's something does come up, you can watch and see how do I address it? How do I fix it? And I think in all the lives that I've done, there's only been like one or two pieces that I didn't complete because I had something wrong. But I did come back after I'd figured out a way to complete them and finish them on another live. So, you know, there is a way to fix almost every problem, even if it's not your favorite way of doing it. I think we just about to the bottom here. Let me see where we're at. We are okay. We still got some room. We got some room. Let me try my scraper here just to get a feel for it. Let's see what that looks like. I think I can go a little thin. I don't want to go too thin because I don't want this to lose this this occlusion here. Yes, I can go down a little bit more. I'm right to about here. I think I've got a little bit more room. Maybe my negative rate scraper might do the job at this point. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna have to get in there with my smaller scraper. Let's love how this one works. That one works just so nice. how that goes. Sorry, I'm getting my head in the way here. I apologize. Let me get you down in there a little bit better. I'll keep my head out of the way. Have I ever turned a yo-yo? No, I've worked with a few, but I've never turned a yo-yo. I have seen it done, and I've played around with the stuff to do it. It's really not that hard. You're basically making two discs. Now you could make a one-piece yo-yo, or you can make two discs held together with a tenon. Yeah, it's totally up to how you want to do it, you know. I think I can go a little thinner on this side. Let's see what I can do here. I might not be able to get in there. Let's see. What can I use? What can I use? What can I use? Let's see this. I need a little sharpening. Stretch the metal out this way. Like this. Oops. Yes, that does a better job. That helps a little bit. What do you think, guys? Is that thin enough, or you think it should be a little thinner? Yeah, the challenge would be in making a one-piece yo-yo. You're absolutely right. I think that would be an interesting challenge. I hope that straightened that out a little bit more. Yeah, that did. Okay. So I can go a little thinner. Not a lot, but a little bit. Let's see. I have this sharpened all the way up the side here, so let me use the side of this. I did with this particular scraper. I sharpened this whole side here up. If you can see it just there a little bit. I don't know if that helps. There you go. You can see I sharpened this thing. It's got a little edge to it. So when I put it alongside here, I can actually trim all the way down the inside of the bowl. And really smooth out the sides of the bowl. And still allow me to go across the bottom with the other part of the scraper. So we can have a nice, and that's something you can't hide like that. This whole side is that basically a sharpened edge. So there's an idea for you guys with one of your scrapers. Try and sharpen it up the edge here a little bit, just at a very small angle, like about, I think that's probably about 7 or 8 degrees at most. So you're not trying to take a lot off. And what that does allow you to do is smooth this all out. Like so. And I think, yeah, you don't feel any rough edges that way. So there's my suggestion for the day right there on this. Just take one of your scrapers, edge all side here just a little bit at a very small angle. You see it's not much of an angle here. And use that to scrape the inside of your bowl. It's not like putting it in like this. There's less chance of grabbing and gouging and pulling out the tenon or something. You just very lightly, almost like you would on the outside of the bowl, like so. And it's very nicely trimming that whole side just a little bit. So here's your tip for the day. Hi, Faustino. How are you? Okay, guys. Now, please hit that like button. There's 100 of you in here, so it'd be nice to get our likes up. If you like the first part of this video and then it went off, you can like it because it's a new video. So if your thumbs up is not dark, you haven't hit the like button, or double tap your screen, one or the other. All right, I'm going to sand out the inside of this really quick. It's not going to need much because we did a good job on the scraping part. There's that inclusion that I have on the outside. There it is on the inside. It was a branch that wanted to come out and play, and we managed to keep it on there. Let me turn this on. Okay. And then we will go to the next one. See, the inside doesn't take as long to sand as the outside does. Well, I'm sorry, we're going to put this in reverse. We'll sand it going reverse mode. Okay. One more grit just because we want to here. Back to forward clean. Due to the nature of how hard this wood is, it's not sanding out much. You don't see a whole lot coming out of there. That's because it feels like it's pretty much done itself. Okay, turn this off. All right. Well, let's put a finish on this, and we'll be done with this bowl. and we can move on to something else, which I feel like. I'll hold that in. So part of the thing of this tung oil getting in there and penetrating is that it'll also strengthen that wood fibers around that inclusion, and that will help hold it in place just like the glue is holding it in place. A lot easier to paint the inside too, no? Just is. Insides of bowls are a lot more fun when it comes to all the finishing stuff than it is the outside of the bowls. Outside's where everybody can see all your mistakes. Inside, they can't see them as much. I'm going to go ahead and put another coating on here. Now, this is not going to soak in a whole lot. This is just really solid wood. It just wasn't sucking in a lot the first time I put it on. There's a few places I can see. As it comes around, you can see the light catch it, and you can see where the dry spots are. So it's put a little bit more on there again. You just kind of keep doing that. Kind of do that with it a little bit. Get that on there real good. I think that's kind of interesting, that branch there. I'm surprised it stayed on, but I'm glad because it makes it more interesting. It makes an interesting bowl. People like little odd, interesting things in their bowls. Otherwise, you have to decorate them with all sorts of special cuts and burns and stuff in order to get their people's attention. But when a bowl naturally presents itself, I like to let the bowl the wood do the work and show itself off. I think that's the best way to do it. Yes, it's cork oak. Yeah, Eric, and thanks for asking. It was cork oak, and it was a really weird triangle. If you go back to looking at the original, well, this is the second video because we had a little glitch in the system. But if you look at the first video, the cover of it, it shows the piece of wood. It was a large triangle with the bark half off, and it was just horrible. And I said, "How are we going to turn this?" And then I showed how we can turn it. So, so this is the turned piece. Let me do a little wiping off here. Had a chance to set in, well. Do the inside. And there we are. I'll take this off of here and show you. I think I may go back and put a wax finish on this afterwards, but you don't need to sit around and watch me do that. But there's the bowl. We managed to maintain the sides all the way down. It's got probably about a 1/4 of an inch between this and the bottom. And I think it looks pretty nice. I'm bringing it up here where you can see it a little better. Got a lot of nice color to it. The bottom looks really good. Inside looks good. And I think that'll be really nice bowl for somebody. Nice, real nice size, actually. It's a good nut bowl. It's a good no bowl for throwing pens in or coins or pills or whatever you want to put into it, actually. So that's our bowl. That's the bowl for today. And you know we don't like to just stop with one. So let's see. Taking my chances, I will do this one. I always have a few backups here. So this one I glued just before we went on air. So it's been drying for about an hour and a half. It should be fine, he says. Okay. And this will be a lot quicker turn, I'm sure, if you guys want to watch it. If you, if everyone tunes away, we'll just go to another day. But if people stay on here, we'll just turn this one. Let's see where it goes. Okay, I'm gonna vacuum up just a little bit of this first because it's gonna be a big mess in here if I don't. So just give me a second to vacuum up. Spent the whole morning cleaning out our big shed, and the big shed has all of the extra wood I have for building and all that other stuff, and small pieces and large pieces because I never like to throw anything away. Plus wood that we found at other places and thought, oh, we can use that. And in the process, I found some wood I forgot I had. I found some walnut pieces, which is kind of nice. So those will be in some sort of glue, and they're going to be in some sort of a glue up feature. I think I'm going to do in the future. And we found some really nice hard oak 2x4s, and we're going to do that. I glue up with that too. And found a few other pieces. Then we found a whole bunch of stuff that we decided, you know what, we're never going to use this for anything. So it went out in the street. We have a twice a year street pickup for large trash, and so that's where it went. And there's already people out there driving by the house and picking up pieces. So, yeah. We always love to find expensive stuff. What would you say is expensive stuff? You mean stuff that you found on the ground, but it actually ends up being actually an expensive piece of wood? That does happen. What they call fogwood found on ground. Okay, well, we're going to establish the bottom first. This is redwood. That's going to come flying off at me at some point. I can tell you that. But this is a redwood piece, and we're going to just turn this one way. I've got this on a glue block, and I'm not going to make a tenon for it. This is going to be the top of the bowl. So just kind of follow along and see how we do this. Okay. Now remember, we're trusting a glue chuck. So I got to check it every once in a while, make sure it's not coming loose. Because all this banging tends to get the glue chuck loose. So We are going to have to go to a much higher speed here pretty soon, but I might need to sharpen this too. But I want to see where I can make this bowl. You know what? I think I'm going to come out here first and try and go this way. We're gonna do this first because I got it kind of flattened out now on the bottom, not completely, but kind of. And I think now is the time to do this part. Probably need to sharpen, but I'm gonna go one more round here. Yeah, I can tell I need to sharpen. Check my glue stick; it's still good. Okay. I can take this in. And as you can see, we are getting round. We have all this tear out, which is understandable. Going to get that. That's all right. But we're going to get to where this is almost rounded. Okay. As you get into the redwood in the middle, or more the heartwood, it gets a little harder. You can feel it. There we go. Okay. Little flat spot there. Other than that, I think we're okay. We can come up now. We got it pretty well rounded up. And a little cleaner. Yep, got some of that tear out coming off of there. Good. Okay, that's starting to come along. So this is going to be the top of our bowl. So let me get a bull nose out here. And we use the bull nose. I'm sorry, I'm not getting a good picture here, so let me get you a little bit more there. I'm sorry. Better picture. Better picture. Oh, no, let's go a little better. See how that, you get all that scratching and tear out when you do it that way? But it does get rounded. So, and we got another branch piece too. Okay, well. Now we can just kind of do a little shear cut, a scraper cut. Okay. I think I got all the shape I'm going to get out of that. Now we can try and get some of this. And that beep, beep, beeping you're hearing is from my helmet, which for some reason the batteries are not holding their charge. Whoa, that was not good. Well, that's what happens, guys. That's what happens sometimes. Dusty. This gave loose while we were doing that. And that's what happened. We need to do a better glue up. But we can do that again. But probably not today. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do a glue up on that one right now because it's it's going to need some time to settle. So I may have to come back to this one on Thursday. And Thursday we're doing in the morning, by the way. We're doing an early one on Thursday because I have some construction coming in the afternoon. I don't want that to interfere with the program. So we'll be doing Thursday. We'll be doing a live earlier in the day, probably around 7-8 o'clock Pacific time, which would be like 4 in the afternoon in Scotland and England, and later, of course, probably more like dinner time for the rest of you. I realize this is kind of like late night for some of you, and not so much for others. Thanks for the thanks, Eric. Nice reflexes. Yeah, well, you hear. If you listen and you don't have a lot of music playing in the background, if you listen to the wood, you can tell when something's going. And you notice that I did say a couple times, I'm wondering if this will hold. And sure enough, my instincts were correct. So that happens. Hi, Michaela. I did not see how you can translate what you said, but thanks. And that's interesting. Eric, yours came in a different language also. That's very weird, Eric. Okay, anyway. So, well, you can see I had the bottom all ready to go. It was nice and flat, sanded. It's beautiful wood. And apparently this branch here comes out here. So if we got into the inside, we're going to have a branch coming through our turning, which can be very interesting also, or very difficult, as the case may be. We got it round and we got it ready to go, but we're going to have to reapply this, and I got to make sure it's directly in the center, because otherwise the outside is going to be out of whack again. I'd have to return that. So I will have to re-glue this onto here, and let it set for a day or so, and see if we can't come back at this on Thursday. I'll show you what else I wanted to do what else I wanted to turn that I've got coming up. I have these two pieces of juniper that are twins. These are twin pieces, and ignore the white paint. That's what somebody did before me who owned these pieces. One is a little bit smaller than the other one, so they're going to make sort of a bowl inside and another bowl, I think, is what we're going to have here. Like two bowls. One's going to be smaller than the other one. And again, I'm using this, but I'm going to make a tenon here. We'll block in, and then we will. I think we're going to do it two different ways. I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to play with this one a little bit. I can either turn this and make this into a bowl the way it is, which is kind of the preferred method. I could even leave it square on the outside and make the bowl in the center. And that's certainly one way of doing it. Another way is to create a tenon on this side, turn it around, and then turn the bowl from the inside, which is another approach. So I may do two different approaches on this. It just depends on what my whimsy a little bit, and how the wood is turning. I've turned some juniper before. It's very beautiful wood. If you can see where it's cut here, you can see this is really, really pretty wood. It has beautiful rings. So we'll try and capture some of that in the turning. So that's what it'll look like too. So we'll try and fix this redwood on Thursday, and we'll do these junipers, I think. Kind of taking a break from oak, but I'll show you right here. There's a lot of wood out here, and I got more in my storage shed, but this is a lot of the wood that I'm working on right now, getting ready to make blanks out of for the next few weeks of turning. So we've got quite a bit coming up, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because we got a lot to do, and we will be turning 2 or 3 bowls a day like we usually do. I probably turned 40. No, I say I've probably turned 50 bowls in the last couple months, and the problem is they're starting to pile up. Yeah, exactly, Eric. About 7 or 8 Pacific time. Probably 8 o'clock, but we'll see. Pacific time. So if that helps you, Eric, I don't know where you're at, but if that helps you at all. But yeah, we'll be. In fact, I'll be posting the notification, 11-ish Eastern time. Yeah, that'd be about 11 Eastern time. Right. So if you're a working guy, just put it on in the background and don't let them see your computer or your phone. But if you're not working, that's great too. You can watch me while you're eating lunch or something. Yeah, if you subscribe, you'll get the messages all the time anyway. So that you might want to do that if you can subscribe. Again, likes are appreciated also, guys. See how many likes we got on this. We've got 80. So we are 13 away from getting 100 likes on here. I'd really like to get to 100 likes. So I tell you what, before I go off here, let's talk about some of the other wood blanks that I've got coming up, just for fun, and what we're going to try and do with some of these. I've got this nice big piece here, which I believe is cottonwood, but I'm not 100% sure. You see the beautiful grain in here, and this piece is going to is going to be turned. Unfortunately, it's a little bit big for me to split this way. So I'm gonna have to get out with a chainsaw. I can't quite fit it under my bandsaw. My bandsaw only has about a 8-inch gap, and I think this is more like 9, something like that. It's oh, it's 8 inches. Okay, so it just won't quite fit underneath my bandsaw. So I will probably have to either shave this off with a chainsaw or cut it with a chainsaw in half. I want to avoid the pith area just a little bit because that's where you get your cracking. We could get 2 really nice bowls out of this. So I think this is going to be a nice piece. And we'll probably do at least one of those live edge if we can. And then when I was going through cleaning out my shop the other day, or my shed today, I found these great pieces of, these are oak. These are oak, and they are really nice, thick 2x4 pieces, 2x3 pieces of oak. And I think I can make some sort of glue up with this. And if I can, down the road, we're going to turn that into some sort of a bowl or two also, or maybe matching bowls. We might put something in between them, like some Purple Heart. So it might be Purple Heart and oak together, something like that. And I got some nice sheets of Purple Heart. So we may play with that one. And then I have this nice big one. Now, cottonwood, and you can see the size of this one. Look at the grain here. There, and look at the grain inside. And I have a feeling this is going to be a really, really nice bowl when we get to it. But we're still trying to get to 100 likes. So if you guys can keep hitting that like button, we're getting. Oh, I guess we're not. We're only at about 40. Whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of see this bowl here. But I think this is going to be a really nice bowl. We get the turn. It's a little bit oval shaped, as you notice right now. Part of that is because it was still drying. It's very wet wood, but I do want to get to it. It's got little wormholes in it. So there's going to be all sorts of little surprises in there. And surprise wood is what I always like. I think I can save this and make it a live edge bowl. So if we do, we'll drill in here. We'll hold on to this end. We'll put a tenon on here. Then we'll remount it and we'll turn the rest of the bowl. This is a heavy bowl right now. I'm waiting for it to dry out just a little bit because it weighs probably in at about 8 or 9 pounds right now. I have this piece of olive that I'm still trying to figure out what can I do with this. It's too pretty to throw away, but it's not very big. So it may end up just being a pen or two or something like that, but I was really hoping I could make something better out of it because look at this grain. It's just really, really pretty grain. And I hate to throw away a piece of wood that has nice grain like that. So what do you guys think? If you think I ought to do something with that? Or I could just toss it and say, nah, I'm not going to do it. That's that. I have some manzanita. Now, manzanita is hard as nails. It is rock hard. It grows in relatively dry. It's a very dry wood. It is extremely hard. Okay, it's one of the hardest woods. It's great for making mallets and stuff, pens, but it will challenge everything you know about turning. It's not quite spindle worthy, although it could be. We could certainly make a handle out of it. And that's maybe what I'm going to end up doing is making this into a handle. But it's a pretty thick piece of wood to break down into a handle about 1 inch around. But that may be what we end up doing. And I could use a couple handles for a couple of my tools. So that may be what it ends up being. Yeah, that was just a piece of olive. Yes, it was. Yes, soldier. Jerry. Ah, Michael's back, and Michael's back, and we're not going to be here long. Um, might make a nice little catch-all. Yeah, carve it out rather than turn it. I do have some carving tools. I'm not really good at it because my carpal tunnel kind of gets to me a little bit. I've had carpal tunnel surgery on this hand and had this fingers reattached from the bandsaw. So carving is really not something I can do easily. It would take me a long time, but Olive does carve, so yeah, it's a possibility. But I can do almost anything like that with my other tools too. You know, with my gouges and stuff. So that's a possibility. I even thought of just taking this and drilling holes in it and using it as a candle holder. You know, just shine out the outside of this manzanita, take off the bark a little bit, and just really spend a lot of time with sanding earth and turn this into a like a 3-piece candle holder. Could do that, but you know, I don't. I just like to toss away wood just because it presents too much of a problem, which is why I still have this piece. That other oak piece we turned today, and it came out great. This was a brother of it, and this is an even more severe piece. Now, if I wanted to, I could turn this into a shallow bowl, and it would look just fine. And this would be gone. This would be gone. You'd end up with a circle about here, be about that wide probably, and it would have to be very shallow. Probably have a little bit higher on one end, so when you toss like your coins, it has a little bit of a lip to catch it and drop it back down. And it's got pen blank written all over it. Yeah, yeah, that's true too. But I thought that might be what this is, because I do have. In fact, I just cut a nice little oak pen blank the other day. Here's one of them, and it's from a piece of you can see this is very wavy here, and this is also. I've got a giant oak burl that I'm working on. I mean, by giant, I mean it's like as big as my lathe. It weighs about 40 pounds. So I've got a burl waiting to turn. I turned one about a year ago, well, 6 months ago, I think, that you all watched. And takes some processing to do this because you only have one chance to cut it right. And if you don't cut it right, you're screwed and you've ruined a very expensive burl. I managed to get them at an auction for practically nothing. So I was very lucky. But the price on those burls probably would have been around $150 a piece. And I got 6 other pieces. A couple of them are planks, basically 2-inch thick oak planks as part of it too. And so those are all going to be part of some new turnings in the future. So I got quite a bit of things ready to go. You're going to upgrade your lathe this year to a 2042. What are you making? Baseball bats? Cricket bats? About the only thing you can do with a 40-incher is make like rails for a staircase, Michael. You're going to be making pins on it. I can just see it now. You got this 40-inch lathe, and you got this little 6-inch pin blank on it. Cherry burl meant for pipes, but sure. Oh, well, cherry turns beautifully. Usually, as long as the burl is nice and tight. So I would recommend you really think about. You look at it, and see your best features you can get out of it. If you could, you might think of using the cherry burl as a top for a bowl. In other words, you turn a bowl and then you turn the cherry top to go with it, like an oak bowl or something. When they're finished, you'd have sort of that reddish color on one and the brownish on the other. Look really good together. That's a couple of things that come off the top of my head. But anyway, so when you start looking at your pile of wood, you start thinking all these different things. What are you going to do with it? But then you get creative. That's the whole idea. That's the fun of being in the shop. Well, hey guys, I really appreciate you all being here today. Sorry that I wasn't able to finish this one off, but I will get busy on this the next day or so and see if we can't do this maybe on Thursday and finish it off somehow. I'm gonna have to look into this and see what's going on because it really did not want to turn off. It wanted to turn here, but it did not want to turn off of this piece of wood here, and I don't know why. Because it's basically very strandy wood. This doesn't weigh maybe 8 ounces is what this whole thing is. It's a very light wood and very dry, but it's also in places. So that's kind of the odd part of it. 12 by 16 and a half. Wow. Yeah, Tim, you could do massive bowls. You could also set up a router thing where you do sort of a swirl pattern down the wood. Using a router and on a rail system. The router sits here, and then you turn slowly, goes this way. It creates a spiral effect on the wood. It's a pretty cool feature, but it's not easy to set up, and it really takes a lot of practice to get it right. So I don't think I'm ever going to need anything bigger than this because anything bigger than this is going to tempt me to turn things that I just really don't need. I mean, I can turn a 15-inch bowl on the outside of this. This has an out feed and an in feed, so on the out feed I can do 16 inches really, but probably 15 is more accurate. I've done 15-inch black walnut bowls on the outside of this, and it was not fun. It was a lot of freaking work, and you didn't want to screw it up because that was an expensive piece of wood. So for me, I kind of like working in a little bit smaller pieces because there's more detail, more accuracy to it, and it just feels a little more comfortable to me. I can crank my speeds up more. I don't want a 15-inch bowl turning at 1,000 RPM. And having something like this happen to it. I don't want to have it flying off and going across the room and taking out 3 people. I kind of have my limits on that. But funny thing was, I thought if anything was going to come apart today, I thought it was going to be the first bowl, not this one. I thought this one would hold better than that. So 10 by 16 is plenty. Yeah, 10 to 16 usually is plenty. I mean, unless you're going to make a bigger. I mean, it depends on the how much how big of a bowl you want to do and how many blanks you got. Depends on how many blanks you got, really. That's the big feature. So, guys, I'm gonna shut this down. I know you guys are having a good conversation, but I'm gonna shut this down now, and really appreciate y'all being here for the last couple hours. Sorry it didn't kind of come out like it originally had planned, but we did get a pretty nice bowl out of it here. So I feel good about this one. This came out really looking nice. It's had a chance to dry now. Like I said, I'm probably going to put some wax on this. I really like some of the grain on this one. I think it looks really nice, and I'm sure somebody will buy it. So until then, until Thursday, guys, I will see you then, and thank you very much for being here.